my goodness. My name is Dan. I am here all night. I will be your host. We have a great show for you guys. So, without further ado, this next comic comes to the stage. She is here each year, and this is her home club. So, I want you guys to make a lot of noise for her. On top of that, she performs all over the country. She's originally from New York, and she will be featured on a TV show, Red From, next week on the Discovery Channel. Please put your hands together for Lorrie Brownstone.
Last night. He's really white, isn't he? There's Lisa's shit down there. Not good. I'm like a fucking mother up here. Anyway, okay. Well, I'm so happy to be back here. Actually, kind of got it the other way around. I actually am from Tucson, and I moved to New York a few years ago. I'm so happy to be back here. Love being back here. Missed you guys. It's absolutely awesome. New York is pretty pathetic. Sometimes. I mean, here's why. It's freezing there. It's still snowing. The winters are brutal. It's horrible. I'm frozen. On the upside, it's the first time I've seen my nipples in 25 years. Summers. I think the summers are better than in Arizona. I really do. They are so humid in New York. It's horrible. It's awful. Every time I get out of the shower, I have a big Jufro going on. God. I can't get my zipper done. For those older people here, don't worry, that's my only pussy joke here tonight. So far. Unless you want to hear more. I'll show you. I'm making this guy blush beside here. Old people pussy. That's what. God, I'm happy to be here. I'll tell you a little bit about myself if you don't know me. I had a tough childhood. I know you guys might think Dad had a tough childhood. I had a tough childhood. Here's why. My mother is a former runway model. She's tall, thin, and blonde. In fact, everybody in my family is tall, thin, and blonde. Which can only mean one thing. At the point of conception, Danny DeVito stepped in. So let me start by taking a poll of you guys. I'm curious. I'm a parent. I want to hear you by a round of applause if you have kids. If you're a parent. Okay, if you don't have kids, I want to hear you by a round of applause. If you do not have children. Do you feel the energy in the crowd, parents? God bless you, that's great. Some of you should have kids, and probably some of you shouldn't have kids. You flushed at a pussy, you don't have children. If you think they look bad now, you should see them during childbirth, dude. That's what you know. Maybe gay. What we hate more than anything else, parents, get my back on this, because there's a lot of you in here. What we can't stand more than anything else is when you guys, without kids, make comments on our parenting abilities. Don't we hate that, parents? Woo! I hate that. Oh, I can't stand it. There's this lady who likes to come over and she says to me, you know what, Lorrie? She's come over and she said, if I had your kids, I would make sure they do their homework, I would make sure they would clean up, I would make sure they would listen to me all the time. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, fuck off. She's the expert. She's the expert because instead of a baby, what do they have? Thank you, they don't have dogs, don't they? God, they have little baby dogs. at the front door and stick a nose in her crotch. Anymore. I hate new parents too. People who just had a kid, you hate them too. Oh yeah, are you one of them or do you know people who are like that? Okay. They think they have the cutest thing on this planet, like they've created a new DNA chain or something. That's what I think. This guy I know, whenever I go over to his house, he puts a picture of his 2-year-old daughter in one of these talking picture frames. You know, the kind of, you record the voice and you play it back, you know, and I go over there, all I'm hearing all day long is, I love you, Daddy, I love you, Daddy, I love you, Daddy. Yeah, I wanted to give this guy a reality check. So I put an old picture of my 3 kids in there when they were teenagers, you know? When you press the button, it goes, fuck you, give me money. And who's our daddy? So, a little bit uncomfortable up here. I'm sorry, my bra is just digging into me. You know the underwire ladies? You know what I'm talking about. You're like an A cup. You don't know what I'm talking about. And you ordered food, fried food. You're thin, you're young, you're beautiful. Be careful. So you know what it's like, right? The underwire just digs into you. I hate that. It just digs in really tight. Yeah, it gets so bad that when I get home at night and take off my bra and look in the mirror, it looks like I have 2 one-eyed happy faces staring back. Over here tonight. I went to Victoria's Secret. I didn't find a bra, but I did finally find out what Victoria's Secret really is. You have to be a skinny ass bitch to shop at one of those stores. And they have the angel wing bra, you know, extra light, extra uplifting, extra support, you know. Well, let me ask you guys something. How high do our ladies really have to be to please you? French fry, don't look at her. Come on, show me how high. How high? How high do our ladies really have to be to please you? Show me. Up here? Where? Bullshit. I'm in my 50s. You want fucking natural? Look at the 20-year-old, for God's sake. So how high do they have to be? Show me, pussy guy who's afraid. Here? Yeah. The guy behind you here? You said here? Yeah. Okay. Up here. I know, it's up here. You know, I can lick my own nipples. Not only have you tried, I bet you he asked you to try. And again, men still don't want to do all the work. Why do you guys ask us to have a little, you know, nip tuck and going up in the nether regions when we get a little bit older? Dude, we don't ask you guys to go for a little nip tuck in the nether regions when you get older, do we? Do we? You don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but you see that older guy right there? You see that guy right there? Look at him. Look at him. Everybody in the crowd, look at this guy. Look at him. Cut to about 20, 30 years from now, you're going to be sitting on the toilet, and you're going to get wet. And you're going to know what the hell he goes through every single day of his life. As far as I'm concerned, the lower they hang, the better, because I can always use an extra pair of Swiffers in my house. So I moved from, I did move here, I did move to New York about 3 years ago. And before I did that, I got a chance to do some amazing things. One of the things I got an opportunity to do that I'm happy about is a USO tour. I got to entertain the troops in Iraq when they were over there. The weirdest thing was I got to spend 3 nights in Saddam Hussein's palace. And I got to use the bathroom. Gaudy, painted gold. And it was 3 a.m. and I had to do my business, and all I could think of was, I bet you Saddam Hussein never thought a middle-aged American Jewish woman would be cracking on his toilet right now. But anyway, I did move to New York, and it is great there, but before I moved there 3 years ago, and my father was nervous. So he said, make sure you bring your gun. So I did, and I'm glad I did. Because 3 months after I moved there, I was in an alley walking, and this guy came towards me. And he came closer and closer and closer, and then he stopped. So I pulled out my gun. My hand was shaking, and I went, dude, please, don't go. I mean, really, at my age, what is rape? Isn't it just surprise sex? I went on a diet about 1.5 years ago, and I lost 60 pounds. It was harder than that to lose 60 fucking pounds, people. You can clap a little harder. No, I didn't have surgery. I did it all myself, and people ask me, what was your incentive? I wanted to have sex again. It wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth it. Another reason when I did it, 6 months ago I became a grandmother. I am young and I'm not Mexican, so that's kind of unique. No, I'm actually old enough to become a grandmother, and it's creepy to become a grandmother. I don't like becoming a grandmother. It makes me feel but on the upside, when I was overweight, I really sucked as a MILF. I think I'm the top of my game in the GILF category. So if anybody wants to have a GILF contest at the end of the night, I'm up for it right there. Are there grandmothers here? Where are you guys? Yes. Isn't it great we can hand back those fuckers? I really love it. My granddaughter actually has red hair and blue eyes. Yeah, my granddaughter, my daughter was a slut. Obviously. No, my son, I don't know how he got like that. But anyway, it's kind of cool to do that. So I've started to actually date. And I noticed a big difference in dating when you're older versus you're younger. So I want to talk about that for a couple minutes. Here's the main difference. When you girls get together, when you're younger, what do you talk about with your girlfriends? And you talk about guys, right? And you talk about how many guys you slept with, correct? You do. I know you do. You have a number and you talk about it. But at my age, when my girlfriends and I get together, we talk about how many guys we fucked who are now dead. Am I right, grandmothers? That's how it goes. So I got signed up for Match.com. A friend of mine a few months ago said, you might as well do it. You convinced me. I thought, fine. I just want to tell you one of the worst dates I had. The guy shows up on a Saturday night, all disheveled, jeans, torn t-shirt, with the personality of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. So where do you want to go? I don't know. You want to eat something I could eat? The guy takes introduced me to Five Guys. New York, Saturday night. I'm living the big city here. Horrible. But he told me that 7.5 years ago, his wife died. Okay? Before you feel sorry for him, 7.5 years ago. But he told me a couple of years after his wife died, the dog died. The wife loved the dog so much that he went with a shovel. You can see where this is going here. He went with a shovel in the middle of the night to the Jewish cemetery and dug up the grave and threw the dog inside. I don't have a fucking punchline for that joke, people. I'm just telling you the worst thing. A different guy the following week took me to a wonderful steak restaurant, and this was the weirdest date. He took me to his after-hours favorite club. And the after-hours favorite club was a vampire club. You walk inside and the band, dressed like vampires, throws blood on the people dancing. Beside it there are coffins, and you pay to go in and you have sex in the coffins. Sort of. I ran out of there so fucking fast after 5 hours, you have no idea. I'm going back next week, but only to see who's performing. Yes.
Every time you do that.
So dating is really kind of difficult on that. But let's talk about kids a little bit. I'm a single parent with 3 kids, which means I never went anywhere, I didn't go anywhere, I didn't have a life, I didn't talk to anybody, I didn't go anywhere. It was like being in prison, but without the sex. And are there any, first of all, I moved away from Tucson to New York primarily to just get away from my children. They were in their 20s at the time. 2 of them ended up following me there. Now, I'm going to ask you guys something. Did anybody move back with their parents? Okay. We don't want you. We're going to lie about it. We are going to say we're going to cry when you leave. 5 minutes later, we're running around in the nude having sex on your bed. Don't want you back. Never. It costs a lot of money to raise children. You get broke when you raise children. I'm going to teach you guys something here. Do you know that according to the Department of Economic Security, it will cost you... Do you have any kids, sir? I'm looking right at you. I can barely see anything, and yet, yes. You have kids? Okay, well, who doesn't? You don't have any kids. That's right, your favorite pussies. I forgot. Okay. And he's sitting by himself, so it doesn't get any better than this. It doesn't, sir. What's your name? Andy. Andy, you know what it costs? $760,000 to raise a child for college? $760,000. You know what that is? That's 5 Lamborghinis, a mansion in the foothills, and for God's sakes, it must be enough money to fix those fucking potholes on Grant Road. Jesus Christ, I left and the city went to shit. $760,000. $760,000. That's a lot of money, isn't it? So I'm going to give you some Lorrie's rules of raising children, okay? Lorrie's rules of raising children. This is what you have to do, because I've had 3 and I'm a single parent. First child. I nursed him till he was 2-3 years old. I studied with him. I took him to all these classes. I made sure that he succeeded. He barely made it out of high school. Kid number 2. I nursed her for a little while. I took her to some play dates. I went to some places with her. She graduated from the University of Arizona with a major in communication. Now, she's on my couch, okay? Third child. I missed my appointment to the abortion clinic. I was tired. schools in the country with full scholarship. This does work better with Jew and Asian kids. I'm just letting you know that. But he didn't go. He decided to take a year off and go find himself. How about finding the $760 it took me to raise you? Find himself. People, isn't that a white thing to do? There's no way your host's parents or any other black people in here, their parents would allow them to take a year off to go find themselves. Am I right, Dave? Right? If you guys want to take a year off and go find yourself, you go to prison and become a Muslim. For those of you too afraid to laugh, I did that in Harlem and they loved it. I only had to get 3 white cops from Ferguson to escort me out. Yeah, kids are difficult, they really are. You know, I don't care what race or religion you are, as long as you preach love and happiness, it's okay with me. I don't really care, thank you. I don't care what you are. So my daughter, you know, she's, you know, I come from a conservative Jewish family. My daughter, she's dating an Arab. That's fine. I'm just afraid the relationship is going to blow up in her face. The only thing. I want to show you guys something. I have a t-shirt I'm selling out there. It's a t-shirt that, well, I don't care. I still have 20 pounds to lose. And I do want to be this thin. I really do. For all of you guys. Selling them out there, $10. Come by, say hi. You don't have to avert your eyes or anything. I will speak to you and that kind of crap. Okay, you don't have to buy that. Come say hi. Before I get out of here, I just want to say one thing that I think is very important about raising children, whether you have them or not. It's something you have to be aware of, and that's the war on drugs. And it's very important. I caught my 17-year-old son, who was 17, smoking pot for the 2nd time. So I did what any responsible parent would. I called the cops on him. You have to do it. You have. Thank you. Clap for that, because you have to be a responsible parent. Thank you. I called them, they came to the house, they handcuffed him, they took him to juvie overnight. I went to pick him up the next morning. He was crying behind the plexiglass. I'm sorry, if I've told him once, I've told him 1,000 times, leave my shit alone. Hey, thanks guys, you got it tonight.
One more time, your feet. Make some noise for her. She can lick her own nipple. Anybody ever? I don't know if everyone paid attention to that.